'Cause I want the world to know how to say no. I'm going live 'cause I want the world to know how to say no. Just checking I'm live. I think I'm live. Don't know if you heard my little song. I hope you did. Good morning, good morning. Good morning. So, happy Wednesday. Welcome to the new peeps that joined this week. Had a few new join this week, so I'll pop up a welcome Wednesday post later today. So today, so for those who watched last week, I hope you had a good time celebrating the full moon, celebrating yourself, your successes, your achievements, all of that. And today is the waning gibbous phase, so it's the phase just following the full moon. And so if you think of the first half of the moon phase as we're waxing, we're going up from new to full, and then the second part of the moon cycle is the waning side, so we're going from full to new. So now is the turning point to start really slowing down, and not building so much momentum up towards that full moon. We're beginning to slow back down and slide back into the new moon. So the waning gibbous phase is also known as the teacher moon, and it's a time to share and to teach what you've learned over the last couple of weeks, basically. So it's also a reflection phase. So the moon in itself is all about reflection, because after all, it reflects the light of the sun, and that's how we see it. So the moon in general is about reflection, but this phase is like uber reflection. So it's like double whammy reflection. So it's share, teach, reflect. So reflection is the practice of exploring and studying ourselves to gain insight and wisdom, right? So reflecting on your progress. How far have you come? What has or hasn't worked? Look back at your new moon intentions. What did and didn't work in that progress from there to now? Did you do any of them? Did you take any action? Did you take action and it didn't work? Or maybe it didn't work because you didn't take any action. Oopsies. So you learn, okay, maybe next time I might actually take some action, and we might actually progress along that journey. So this is a good time for journaling and meditation on what you've learned and reflecting on all of that. So it's a great time to share your discoveries and your successes, either verbally or in written words. So you can journal them for yourself. You can even speak them out loud to yourself, or use a dictaphone. Or I mean, dictaphones are probably obsolete these days with the recording devices on our mobiles. Or you can share it with family and friends. So I really like to share my discoveries with my family and friends, because it really helps me to bounce ideas off other people, and then it helps them to hear those ideas, and then it helps me to hear their thoughts on the ideas. So it's like a win-win-win situation. So teach what you've learned, spread your wisdom, allow others to learn from your journey. I mean, we're all here on this journey of life, right, to learn lessons. We're all here to collect wisdom, insight, and evolve and grow as a human and a spiritual being. But if we all shared our wisdom and insights and the things we learnt along our journey, then it would help each other not waste as much time learning those same lessons ourselves. I mean, a great deal of the time, yes, it's true, we have to go through something ourselves in order to learn the lesson. But there are a few lessons that we could just skip to the end by someone else giving us their little snippets and nuggets of wisdom. So sharing your wisdom with others is a really selfless act, and it saves them a hell of a lot of time. So why is this important? Why should we bother sharing, teaching, reflecting? So reflecting on our experiences, actions, and discoveries allows us to take time to process everything and to give meaning to it all, right? So sharing and teaching our findings with others embeds the learning at a deeper level within ourselves, integrating it fully with mind, body, and soul. And when we share our discoveries and ideas with others, it welcomes in new perspectives and questions that we had maybe never thought about before. And that really helps to expand our minds. So you may have had this really great revelation, and this is your revelation right here in this little bubble. And then you talk to someone else about it and they go, oh, that's really juicy. But what about this thing? And this thing lives up here. So suddenly your revelation has just gone boom and just expanded instantly by someone else going, hey, what about this? And if you then talk to another person, it's just going to go like that and go like that and go like that and just keep expanding, right? So the more people we share and talk to, the more our worlds, our perspectives, our insights, our wisdom expands, because we all have such unique viewpoints on things, different opinions, different sparks of inspiration in our minds. So the more you share, the more you learn, right? And also, when we speak things out loud, our experiences and our thoughts and our discoveries really quite often take on new meaning. So sometimes I'll have an idea, I'll have a question, right? And I'll be really confused and I'll not know the answer. And then I'll go and ask someone and I'll say, hey, I don't know what to do about this. Do you think I should do this or this? And by the time I finish speaking, I've answered my own question in my head just from verbalizing it out loud. And then the other people are like, glad I could be of service. So sometimes just saying it out loud, I mean, you don't even have to say it out loud to someone else. You could just walk around like a crazy person talking to yourself all the time and you'd still improve and learn and share. You're sharing it with the universe, you're sharing it with yourself. So if you don't have anyone to share that thing with, or you don't want to share that thing with anyone at that point in time, share it with yourself, share it with the silence, share it with the universe, with God, with your spiritual entourage, you know, share it, just share it. So I want to tell you a little story. So I remember when I was younger and after school, my mum would always try and get me to tell her what I had learned that day. And when I was really young, I was a really good little girl. So I always obliged and I told her all the wonderful places that my mind had visited and all the things I'd learned and what I'd done. And as I got older, I became not so obliging. The rebellious and cynical teenager reared her head and no longer wanted to fall into the trap I thought my mum was laying for me, as if getting your child to learn is a trap. But hey. So once I became a life coach and facilitator and began teaching all the wondrous lessons that I have learned in my life, my own experiences became so much more profound. So every time I shared a piece of wisdom, something really extraordinary happened. Not only did I see it from a new perspective outside of myself, but I also gained the perspective of whoever I was sharing it with. So as a personal collector of perspectives, I found this to be a really, really powerful gift. I welcome in anything that brings me outside of myself and helps me to expand my mind, my horizons, and the box that conditioned beliefs often tries to put me in. So go on, get out there and collect perspectives, because you really never know what you might find. Right. So as this is the sharing, teaching moon phase, I would really like to share my latest snippet of wisdom with you all. So one of the things that I've always been aware of in my mind as something to implement is the practice of saying no. And I used to think saying no was all about building up my own boundaries, my own standards of what I was and was not open and available for. And I'm not necessarily saying that I've always found it easy to say no. It's actually been quite a big struggle for for me, being a bit of a people pleaser and all that. So I thought it was all about setting my boundaries so that people knew where I stood, and so I respected myself, and so I could stay in integrity with what with myself, with my authentic self. You know, being integrity is one of the biggest acts of self-love we can give ourselves, right? So I thought that that was all it was. But then recently, through a coaching program I'm in, I was awakened to a new a new perspective, which was that by me staying in integrity with myself and with what I wanted, what I felt was, you know, best for me in that moment, then I'm creating the opportunity for the people around me to stay in integrity with themselves. So let me explain this a little further. Staying in integrity is the highest good for all, right? So if everyone stayed in integrity, then everyone will be doing the highest good for all, and therefore everyone will be in a much better place. We'd be in a place of the highest good for all. There's no denying that, right? So integrity creates the highest good for all opportunities for everyone else. It's therefore I cannot control if X, Y, and Z person stays in integrity also. But if I'm out of integrity, then I have shifted things for the people around me, and it makes it a lot harder for them to then stay in integrity, right? So I'll give you a little example. So just after sort of feeling into this new perspective, this new nugget of wisdom, I had a very dear friend of mine reach out to me and say, "Hey, are you free? Do you have any energy? I'm really struggling. I really need some support right now." And it was during a period where I was doing a very intensive course training. I would start meetings with my business and my personal life at sort of, you know, 9 o'clock in the morning, after having been up for 2 or 3 hours doing my yoga and my meditation and showering and all of that. And then these lessons went on until about 8:30 at night. Now, for some of you, that might not sound very late, but I'm a morning person. I'm an early bird. So, like, after sort of 5, 6, I'm done. Like, I'm so done then. Like, evenings are for chilling, relaxing, maxing all cool, you know. So, finishing at 8:30 was like, it was hard work. And it was for every day for a solid 2 weeks. And still, you know, getting up at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and so it took a while after 8:30 for my brain to switch off, you know. So I'd get in my PJs and I'd brush my teeth and I'd sort of like, you know, watch a program or whatever. But I still wouldn't get to bed till a bit later because I needed time to wind down. So I was really, really tired at this time. And I told myself that after my lesson finishes at 8:30, I didn't want to speak to anyone. After those lessons, I don't want to speak to anyone. I'm done. It's me time, it's Bella time, and I'm just not there for anyone because I need to take that time to, you know, to fill my cup and replenish. So I got this message from my friend, "Hey, be free. Do you have any energy? I'm really struggling." And normally my immediate reaction would be like, "Oh my God, someone needs me. I'm needed. I'm needed. I must help," you know. But I immediately sort of pushed that reaction to one side and thought to myself, you know what, I don't have any energy. I'm not free and I don't have any energy. I checked in with myself and I was like, how can I stay in integrity with this? When I had conflicting feelings. So part of me didn't want to speak to anyone, didn't have any energy, couldn't be there for anyone because I was really, really tired. And the other part of me cannot leave someone in pain knowing that I could have done something about it. So I thought, how can I stay in integrity with two opposing or somewhat opposing, somewhat contradictory feelings. I took a moment to feel into what response, what reaction would be most aligned for me in this moment. And one of the first times I got a really clear response in my gut, in my heart, about how to react to this situation. And so I messaged her back and I said, hey, I don't have any energy. I'm really tired. I've had a long day. I'm sorry you're struggling. I'm sending you lots of love. I will keep my phone on loud for another 2-3 hours. And if you really, really need me, I will answer. I didn't say, only call me if it's an emergency, or I don't really want to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I just gave it as it was, right? I'm tired. I don't have much energy. But if you really need me, like, don't hesitate. I've got the phone on loud and I will answer for you. And that felt really good because it was saying how I was. It was saying I'm tired. I've not got much to give, but it was leaving the lines of communication open. And her response was that, first of all, she was really grateful that I left the lifeline open. So she knew if she really needed someone, I was there, which immediately made her feel safer. But with me not immediately jumping on the phone and saying, hey, how can I help you? Let me save you. Let me rescue you. I gave her the space to allow for the highest good for her to come in. And she then had the best form of support that she could find, which was through another friend and through herself helping her, right? So if I'd have jumped on my like martyr horse and gone like, Bella to the rescue, I will save the day, then she wouldn't have got the support that would have ultimately been the right thing for her in that moment. So that was a really great, response from the universe after receiving this nugget of wisdom, putting it into practice, me seeing the immediate results of how saying no and staying in my integrity was the right thing to do for me and for her. And it wasn't just about saying no for me, it was about saying no, but if you really need me, I'm here. And that won't always be my response. Sometimes my response will be, hell no, I am closed and shut for business. Right. And other times it'll be, hell yes, I've got loads of energy. What do you need? And then it will be from a place of I can support you, not desperation to be the savior, So that was a really great lesson for me. So if you stay in integrity, then it provides others the opportunity to also stay in integrity with themselves. And it gives them the opportunity to rescue themselves as well, right? So we can't always rely on other people to help us, to rescue us, and to get us out of our messes. Sometimes we need people to say no to us so that we can figure our own shit out. And some of the times I've received the best support is when someone has not supported me, and therefore the only person left to support me was myself. And then I've gone, oh hey support, how you doing, honey, how you doing, so when I've been the only person left to support me, that has then proved to be the best support I could have received at that time, because it empowered me, and it gave me back my own control over my own life, my own thoughts, my own happiness, my own rescue. So, like I said earlier in this live, integrity is a huge, huge act of self-love that we can show ourselves. By staying in integrity, we are saying to ourselves, hey, you deserve this integrity. You are worth this integrity. I trust and believe that what is best for you is also best for everyone. So massive, massive act of self-love that you can give yourself. And this all ties into my current theme, which I've decided, like, I'm just really sick of Valentine's Day, right? I'm really sick of it being a time of year where people are ashamed of being single or ashamed of being alone, or they're pressurized. If they're in a relationship, they're pressurized to buy their partner things they can't afford, or the pressure of like, what would help me show them I love them the best, like what would they want, things like that. So if you're in a relationship, it's just loads of pressure, and if you're not in a relationship, you're left to feel like ashamed and left out, right? So I mean, what good does Valentine's Day actually do anyone, except for the Fortune 500 companies? I don't know, the commercial companies that are selling the cards and the roses and the chocolates and all of that jazz. So how about we not feed their businesses anymore and we claim it back? And I'm claiming February as self-love month. So self-love month means that it doesn't discriminate, because everyone needs to love themselves and everyone can love themselves. You just need the right tools to be able to do it, right? So I'm starting a revolution. I'm starting a self-love revolution, a radical self-love revolution. And I really want to help people deepen and claim back their sense of self-love, because we live in a world where people take advantage of our self-loathing and self-hatred, and they're hell-bent on making us feel worse about ourselves so they can profit and gain. So how about we just say no? Let's say no to that. This is all about saying no. So we're going to say no to that, and we're going to say yes to the radical self-love revolution. So that is my thing at the moment. That is my jam. You'll be seeing a lot of stuff I'll be posting at the moment about self-love and how to get more of it, how to deepen it, why it's so important, why we need to do it. And also, I'm running a free training over the Valentine's weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll be going live in this group at about 10 a.m. GMT time and GMT time. And I'll be giving some real practical sort of steps to and challenges to getting our self-love groove on. So let's reclaim and revolutionize this Valentine's weekend. I mean, if you're in the UK, like I am, you've got nothing better to do because the world is closed. So you might as well join me for some self-love shiz. And if you can't attend at 10 a.m. on one or any of the days, then the replays will be available. So you can just watch it at any point during that day, take on the challenge, do the challenge, and give us your feedback later. So I hope you can join the revolution. It's going to be a game changer. It's going to be life changing. It's going to be incredible. I'm going to create a really loving container so that we can all sort of like support and help each other. So, takeaways from today: reflect on your progress. How far have you come since the new moon? Like, what's been going on? What's worked? What hasn't worked? Share and teach the lessons that you have found, because it will help you gain a deeper understanding and a different perspective from other people, and it will help other people skip some steps that you wasted your time doing, although it's not wasted time. But anyway, maybe you could save them some time. 3, say no. Try saying no, see how it feels, experiment, stay in integrity, and finally, join the revolution. So thanks for listening. I hope you have a wicked Wednesday, and much love and infinite blessings from me. Mwah.